everybody, Johnny Van Zant here again. You're listening to and watching Leon John Jock's Laid Back Rock and Roll TV show, American Hearts Radio.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
Love you, man.
American Hearts Radio presents an affiliation with First Coast Studio, live from Jacksonville, Florida. Laid Back Leon's Rock and Roll Show. Here's your host, Leon John Jock.
Okay, Jacksonville, we're live. Hey, how's it going? Okay, we want to welcome everybody to the show tonight, Laid Back Leon's Rock and Roll TV shows, and it's our first show tonight. We got special guests in the studio, Robert Paul of the Robert Paul Band, his lead singers with us today. We're going to have a great time up here. We're going to do some interviews and everything. We got some video clips. We got some free giveaways coming up here real soon, so stick around. So right now, let's go to introduce our first guest of tonight, Robert Paul of the Robert Paul Band. How's it going, Robert?
Great, Leon. Thank you so much.
All right, it's good to see you today, and your singer here,
yeah,
Michael Bateman. Good to see you. And his name? Michael
Bateman.
Bateman. All right, there we go. We got Michael here today. We're going to talk to these guys here about some of the past history of the Southern rock, and also what's happening in today's world, and also what's happening with their new project that they're doing. They got a brand new CD out now. We're going to talk about it in just a minute, and a lot of great stuff happening here on the Florida's First Coast. We want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. We got a lot of stuff to cover, so let's get right into it here. Let's talk about the Southern rock.
Let's talk about it.
Now, Southern rock to me was born right here in Jacksonville, Florida, with a lot of great bands: Molly Hatchet, Leonard Skinner, 38 Special. We can go on and on and on. And of course, the Johnny Van Zant Band, 38 Special. We love all of them out there. Yeah. And of course, you, my friend, is a member of Johnny Van Zant's band back in the old days.
I was.
We're glad to have him here in the studio with us here today. Tell us a little bit about what year that you came into with Johnny Van Zant, how you was able to get the spot with him.
I met Johnny through the music store.
Music store.
I had he contacted me because I was doing sound, like a sound man.
Sound man, yeah.
And he was looking for a sound man for his band, the Austin Nichols Band.
Austin Nichols, yeah.
I know a lot of people remember that, and so I did that for a while, and then one of the members decided he wanted to play punk rock. I don't know if everybody remembers that, but he decided to do that, and so Johnny asked me would I fill in for a couple of weeks while he found somebody else, because I was in my early 20s, but Johnny was only 16, so I was too old. I was too old for the band, so they wanted to get somebody their own age, which was fine by me, because I enjoyed doing sound for Johnny. I knew he had a lot of talent and that he would do something someday. And what happened was that I played some of my music for Johnny, and he forgot about how old I was. And so that's how I got in the band. And from there, we went on. We made 6 records.
6 records. One of my favorite, No More Dirty Deals.
Great record. Shout out to my fellow guitar player, Eric Lungen.
Eric, how you doing, Eric?
He and I played dual leads on that record, and it sold a ton, and we had a great time. We toured with some great bands: Molly Hatchet, Foghat, Journey, Foreigner, and that's kind of how the career started. And
before you got into Johnny Van Zant Band, what happened to you in your life that made you want to pick up a guitar and become a musician?
Well, when I was 8 years old, I saw the Beatles on TV.
Oh yes, the Beatles.
And that was pretty much it for me. That's what I wanted to do for a living. I wanted to have long hair and be a rock star. And what I found out was that that's not as easy as it sounds because I didn't know how to play guitar. So my mother bought me one of those Silvertone amp in the case guitars, and what I did was stand in front of a mirror for 2 years and learn how to play to pose. I never actually learned how to play. That came later. You know, I realized that at some point I'd have to take some lessons. And so 6-string was too hard for me, so I started out on bass.
Bass guitar, 4 strings.
4 strings was easy. And but I always wanted to be a guitar player, and so that's how it got started for me. And when I got out of college, I knew that Jacksonville was the place to be. And little did I know that, yes, it was the place to be, but you had to know somebody.
That's right.
And I knew nobody, and it did not go well for me until I met Johnny. So that was kind of the start of my playing career. Of course, I can play guitar now, so I did learn how to play eventually.
Yes, and in fact, let's
although my posing was beneficial to me later on. Yeah.
That's right. And now your lead singer right here. How long have you been with the band?
Well, Robert and I got together about 10 years ago. First time we did a project together and had a good time. We met through a little technology he needed, and I had it, and so we got together and did a little project, and then just wasn't the right timing for both of us, and then we decided to try it again.
Yep.
So we've been doing this latest one for 2 years. I guess.
2 years. We made the record last year from May to August.
And let's grab a copy of that and see what it looks like here for the folks here, and explain to everybody what this is about.
Well, I decided to make a solo CD because when I started playing again, I did play with Shantytown for a little while.
Shantytown,
Shout out to them. I enjoyed it very much. It's a great band. I love all those guys in that band. And so I got some experience, and I realized that maybe I should try to do this on my own. So that's when I called up Michael, because knowing him so long, I knew that I wanted a singer that could sing high. And a lot of guys in this business, they say they can sing high, but they can't.
That's right. You got to have that high voice to be able to cut
through. Michael can sing high. If you listen to the CD, you'll know.
Now, what's the title of the disc?
The title of the CD is Breaking in Two.
Breaking in Two.
It's well, to be honest with you, it's a story about my wife. When I first met her, she went off out of town and to her hometown up in Arkansas, and I thought that was a big town, and I thought she was out partying. And so I wrote a song called Breaking in Two. Well, then I found out after we got married, I went home to Wynne, Arkansas, and I shouldn't have been worried. It's not a very big town. But, you know, I was at home alone, and my new girlfriend is out on the town, and that's basically what I wrote the song about.
So you wrote the disc and all with thinking about your girlfriend, and of course you have how many tracks on this new disc?
10 tracks.
10 tracks. And what are the favorites from the fans on this CD?
Well, from management and my record company here, CD Baby, a lot of the requests, mostly overseas, I would say, because American radio, you know. So, the Slide and 7 Seas. Now, the Slide reminds you a little bit above Johnny Van Zandt Band. I would say it's got a similar sound to our first record. 7 Seas, if I had to describe it, I would call it progressive Southern rock.
Hey, there we go.
Meaning that typically Southern rock is a lot of 3-chord boogie and occasionally changed to a 4th chord. Well, I like to use a lot of chords in my stuff. I played in the orchestra in college.
Oh.
So I learned a lot of chords, and I kind of incorporate them into my rock stuff. So that kind of gives us a different sound.
Now, to be fair, you got thrown out of the orchestra.
Yes, I did get thrown out of the orchestra for playing too loud.
Really?
So I'm proud of that. And but you get thrown out sometimes.
That's right. Now, let me tell you, what are your favorite songs from this album? And then I'm going to ask you to sing.
All right.
Okay. Well, I would say that Breaking in Two is my favorite, but Jackie Ray's my second.
Jackie Ray. Now, what's that about? That's not her.
That'd be about my wife right there.
It is your wife?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's a happy song.
Yes,
it is a good song. It's not.
I can't wait to hear tonight.
It's not depressing at all. It's not
Jackie Ray.
It's not like Breaking in Two, where I thought she was leaving me for another man.
Breaking Two,
so to speak. But no, I think the CD is. It's selling well, and I would say if I had to describe it, I know you and I talked, and I called it, southern metal or something like that. Well, there's not really a genre for that. It's more blues rock, but because I played with Johnny Van Zant a long time, I am influenced by that, and my songwriting, you occasionally will hear some Johnny Van Zant influence on my stuff. So.
Well, everybody's a creature of habit, so you tend to do the same things even though you move on in your life.
Yep.
And let's ask him, what is your favorite songs on the albums, and which ones do you like to sing the most?
Well, I like singing all of them. I mean, they're good songs.
It's a good answer, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I'm here to make you look good.
He's trying to keep his gig.
I'm here to make you look good. So, but they're really good songs. Robert's got a good writing style, and it's really fun to sing the songs. But Jackie Ray is actually what I auditioned with
Jackie Ray's the one that you auditioned
years
with.
ago.
Years ago.
When we first met,
When we first met.
he had written Jackie Ray and couldn't sing it, and he said, "So you say
Well, you had to throw that in, didn't you?
Well,
Couldn't
So
sing it.
I can't sing it, but if you can sing, let's hear what you got. So I auditioned on Jackie Ray. So that's kind of one of my favorites just because of that. And I really like Seven Seas. I like the layers
Me
on
too.
Seven Seas.
I like the layers.
So the fans out there that come to y'all shows, they really enjoy all of these songs. They like the Jackie Ray. You play all that in your
Oh, yeah.
show.
Oh yeah.
But they liked, we do 5 or 6 songs of Johnny Van Zant
right.
Band.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get away from that. I'm proud of that time. So
right.
we try to stay faithful to them and play them like they are on the record.
There we go.
And when you come to hear us live, that's what you're going to hear. You're going to hear some Johnny Van Zant Band songs, but you're going to hear mostly this CD.
Well, let me ask you, how does it feel, man, to be able to do that? You've done all this in your life, and now you've come to this point in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And so what's next for the band, and what's next for you musically and here in Florida?
Well, my management, who is Nancy King, shout out to Nancy.
All right.
She's working on a tour for me that'll be spring and summer and fall, and that's what I'll be spending the rest of the year. Rest of this year doing is out on the road playing this CD and playing some Van Zant stuff, and then come fall, maybe early next year, we'll make another record. But that's about as far out as I can see right now.
I hear that y'all doing a lot of time in Texas out there. Y'all hitting all the circuits out
Well,
there in Texas?
That's what Nancy's. Wherever she points us, that's where we go. And
That's
since
right.
That's where she's based.
That's a big state.
Yeah, it's a big state.
Nancy's working hard
Yeah.
on the tour, so I'm very happy to be signed with her.
In fact, Nancy and them have got a few other bands also underneath her umbrella.
Yes.
Shantytown and some of these other great bands from Jacksonville.
Or with Chapel.
With Chapel,
But
of course.
Nancy worked for
that's
Chapel.
right. And
Yeah.
we appreciate them, and we're going to maybe have them back in the studio with us here real soon. But let me ask you now, what's the next step for the band? Are you going on tour next, or are you going in the studio? You going on tour?
Going on tour the
Going on
rest of
tour.
this year.
All right, yeah, they're going to finish
Push-
out the year.
I'm going to push that CD as hard as I can, and then I already have, when I got ready to make this CD, had about 40 songs to choose from.
40 songs to choose from.
And
to
some
whittle
of
it down.
them did not get on the record that will definitely get on the second record.
That's mostly how it happens. They have
Yeah, I just had to, I had to choose these 10, but the next record I want to do 12, 13 songs, and some of the songs will be new that I've written with these guys, and then some of them will be songs that were written at the same time as these.
What keeps you involved in this music game whenever there's so many other bands out there in the world? What keeps you aggressively wanting to go?
Right there.
Your wife.
If it wasn't for my wife, I never would have started playing again. I had retired from music. I played. I've got a home studio, and I played, but I did not want to do this again. I did not want to make a record, go on the road, smile through the camera, all those things. I just, I was happy, in my little niche of the world. But my wife, being she is a Taurus.
Taurus. So
We
some
don't know what they're like. They're
Easy.
the bull,
The bull.
the bull. And so, she'd push, and I'd push back, and she'd push. But finally, I started making demos, and I made some demos with Michael, and they sounded good to me. And I thought, well, let's go all the way. Let's do the CD. Let's get management. Let's go out there and see what happens.
Well, man, we're excited
That's
to
what we're
have
doing.
y'all in the studio and all. Let me ask you
Thank
the
you,
same
Leon.
question and all. How do you feel about that?
I think that, and Robert, I know will agree with this. When when that's what's in your blood, that's what's in your blood, and you can't get away from it, even if you want to. So you can call yourself retired. You can say that you're gonna, I'm just gonna stay right here in my studio and make a little music. But when it's in your blood, you're never gonna get far away from it. And
I think
that's what I was doing, Leon.
Yeah.
I
I think that y'all got a good thing going on here. You sound like you're a good gel with each other, and I'm glad to see you got a little bit of fire on a singer here.
this boy can sing. Let me
He
tell
can
you.
sing. I bet you he can do a little bit of everything, huh?
Somebody's got to be able to balance out those licks.
Yeah, and I wanted to shout out to my drummer, Kellen Chestnut. He's listening.
What's up,
Chestnut,
Kellen?
what's up?
Kellen is. Most of the guys in the band are young, mid-30s or younger, and Kellen's one of them. And Kellen he's one of the best drummers I've ever heard. Not to mention play with. And so that's what I'm having the most fun doing, is playing with young guys.
Yeah.
And, whether it's giving them my knowledge or my experience, but they're giving to me. I'm learning from them as much as they learn from me, probably more.
Well, as long as you can make it fun, that's worth staying in the whole thing. We're glad to have everybody here on the show tonight. We're going to give away some stuff in just a few minutes, but we're going to ask a few more questions with the band here. I want to ask you, this tour, are you going to start it in Texas? Are you going to start in Florida? Are you going to come down and see us in the state of Florida anytime soon?
My management, Nancy, wants us to, we're going to start out in Florida.
Hey.
Probably do 5-10 dates in Florida.
Okay, Jacksonville.
To start out, and we're going to start in Pensacola and work our way towards Jacksonville.
All right.
And then head back down Tampa and those places and head back the other way. So,
Folks, it's been a long time since we've seen Mr. Robert Paul here in Jacksonville. We're glad to have him today, and we're glad to have his friend here.
some of them have children now.
I know. So, like I said, and when he comes to town, make sure you grab a ticket for sure. We'll see everybody backstage at the show on that there. Michael, let me tell you, what is your highlight of being in this band so far?
I think the most fun part for me is watching Robert come out and bring out things that he didn't know he had. And what he said about, playing with these younger guys, and I'm no spring chicken myself, but coming out with these younger guys and watching them pull things out of him is that's exciting. I mean, it's exciting. It really is.
It's a good mix.
Sounds kind of, corny, I guess, but that really is what it is.
Well,
That
now
makes it
this
fun.
is what I'm going
Makes
to
it fun.
consider the second coming. You've had your first shot of
Absolutely.
fame, and then you relaxed, and now you're coming back, and it's going to be so much better the second time around.
I think so.
With the Lord's grace and everything, we're going to make sure
Amen.
that everybody's going to have a great time here. And of course, make sure you come out and see the Robert Paul Band anytime you see him on tour. Robert Paul Band, ex Johnny Van Zant Band. Like I said, you're going to love this here. Great guitarist all these years, and he's got so much more to show with y'all on stage live. So come on
Yes.
out and see him.
Please.
Blister and Licks. I wanted to ask you, can you tell the folks out here the rundown of your rig? What kind of music, what kind of amplifiers, what kind of guitar, the brands that you're using today on stage?
Sure. I have an endorsement from Black Star.
Black Star.
So I play Black Star amps, and I play Fender Stratocasters, and I don't endorse them because they're kind of hard to get, and but I do love them. And I think it's one of the most versatile guitars out there, and I have several, and I love them. I use floor pedals, analog floor pedals.
Analog.
I have an Eventide harmonizer, which I'm very fond of, and an MXR chorus, Boss digital delay, and a Boss an MXR flange. I have an MXR 10-band EQ, and then of course I've got the pedal power that keeps everything going. And
Are y'all using all those pedals in your music? Really?
Absolutely.
Really? All right.
I use them all.
That's great, man.
Different songs have different effects, but now when I made the record, I used no effects until after it was recorded. So,
Right.
but I have to have these pedals to recreate the sound that I got on the record.
How many songs are y'all doing in a live show?
About 16.
16
songs.
16 songs. That's more or less like a
Hour and a half.
Yeah,
About
that's
hour and a half, 90
That's a
minutes.
lot of time.
That's what Nancy books us at, 90 minutes. If you want to book us, We do 90 minutes.
90
And
minutes.
we can break that up into 45 and 45. So.
That's right. Like I said, so if there's some promoters out there that need the guys for the
right.
festivals
That's right.
around the state here,
Please.
you definitely want to give Nancy King a call or give us a call here on the show.
Sure.
And like I said, we'll hook you up
Oh,
here.
yeah.
And we'll make sure that we get the band here for y'all guys and make the fans happy to come out and see the guys from yesterday that we miss so much. What I wanted to do on this show here was bring back some of the members of certain bands and all, and bring these guys back because we miss them a lot. We love them a lot. We don't get to hear from them, and now we can catch up with them and see what they're doing today. And Robert Paul and his band is actually out there and on tour, so make sure you grab a ticket. Make sure you come to the show. Florida dates, got some in Texas, and they're going to make more all through the year. And of course, we're going to bring them back here at Christmas time to have some fun and maybe have a little show for everybody in town. So right now, I have a Facebook page, and if you know my name, Leon John Jock, then go to my Facebook page, and we're going to give away 5 CDs right now of the Robert Paul Band.
Hang on, what's that website again?
Well,
Free CD.
That's right. Go to my Facebook page, Leon John Jock, JONJOCK, and then message me on there. Say, hey, I want a free CD. The first 5 will get a CD from the Robert Paul Band. We want to thank you all for tuning in tonight.
Thank you very much.
Now, let me ask you some more questions up here. I want to ask Mike a question or two. Mike, you got in this band here. Did you think that this band was going to last this long? It was going to be a better gig, or did you think it was just going to be a temporary fun thing to do?
That's a good question.
Well, careful how you answer
Should
that
I tell the
question.
real
That's
answer?
a trick question.
It's
Well,
a
no,
trick
you
question.
can tell the truth, I think.
No, I think the project when we started it was, okay, let's see if we can do this.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Age
it really
being
was
the factor.
well, not just age, but being away from it. And I come from a different world as far as music is concerned. So we weren't sure if it was going to work. So we sat down and we played with it a little bit, did a little bit in the studio, and it worked, and it was great. And so now it's very much something that I'm looking forward to, getting
gotta
out
be-
on the road and just refining it as we go.
It's got to be exciting
It's
to know,
incredibly exciting,
man, that,
sure.
wow, every month it's getting bigger and
That's
bigger.
right.
It's growing.
That's right.
We got a fan base that's getting bigger. We want to thank everybody. Now, let me ask you, whenever you get done with the tour, you're going back in the studio for the brand new stuff, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Are you going to play a couple of the brand new songs, have a special treat in the show with what you've got going on now?
Well, I think that's a good question, Leon. And now that you've said it, I'm probably going to have to do that.
He's
aren't
going to
I?
have to do that. Now, let me ask you, what are your influences in rock and roll? I mean, who did you like back when you were a kid, and then who do you like now?
Well, when I was growing up, like I said, the Beatles and the Who,
The Who.
the Rolling Stones.
Yes.
I was into a lot of British bands. I didn't even know who Leonard Skinner or the Allman Brothers were until I moved to Jacksonville. I
Thank
had
God
no
you came
idea-
home.
Yeah, I had no idea who they were, and in fact, when I met Johnny, I didn't know that Ronnie was not Leonard Skinner. I thought that was his name.
So you
like a lot of people.
you weren't starstruck.
No, I did not. I wasn't influenced by Southern rock at all. And when I moved to Jacksonville, that's when I became an Allman Brothers, Leonard Skinner fan, and because the early Skinner records are so great.
They are.
Just
Ed
unbelievable.
King.
Ed King, shout out to Ed King. We're friends on Facebook. Just an unbelievable guitar player. And you talk about my influences. I'd have to say Ed King is one of them.
Yes.
I still can't figure out half of what he's playing. But,
He's good now. He's
he's
from
got it.
Southern California.
He's got to go. A lot of people don't know that he was in Incense. Was it Strawberry Alarm Clock?
Strawberry Alarm Clock.
Incense and Peppermint.
That's right. The old classic track. And man, let me
He wrote
tell you.
that song. Yes, he did.
That's right. Ed King, we want to say hello to you out there and all. Mike, what are your influences here today?
So today I listen to a lot of guitar players. Mm-hmm. A lot of them are foreign guitar players. I listen to a kid named Eric Steckel.
Eric Stickle?
There's another guy named Andre Neri.
Andre Neary.
He's from Argentina. So if you're on Facebook, you want to look him up. He's one of the most phenomenal guitar players I've ever heard or tried to play. The first time I saw him, I told my wife, well, I'm done. That's it. I'm out.
And Michael, what are your influences whenever you were a kid, and what are your influences now, or who do you enjoy to listen to?
Well, unlike Robert, I grew up in South Georgia, down in Moultrie.
Moultrie, Georgia.
Yeah.
All right.
Shout out to
How
my
about
Moultrie,
Georgia? All right, Georgia fans.
Yeah. So I was very much influenced by Leonard Skinner and that, I mean, the Allman Brothers and 38 Special, all of that.
Blackfoot.
Yeah, Blackfoot. Yeah. So we you know, that's the stuff of bonfires and sitting on the tailgate of a truck kind of thing. So I was very much influenced by that and loved to hear Ronnie sing. Wow. I mean, he just loved to hear him sing.
Yeah.
So those were my early influences, and you know, like Robert, I was influenced by the Beatles as well. I don't know anybody in rock that wasn't.
Everybody wanted to be the Beatles.
Everybody wanted to be the Beatles. So you know, those bands, and then where I got my vocal styling from, honestly, was from listening to old Boston records.
Boston, yeah.
Yeah, he's got that range like.
Now, believe it or
right
not,
now.
Boston has 5 albums out there in 40 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like I said, it's time for them to cut a brand new album. But they are good. They've done a lot.
Boston,
Yeah.
they don't have to cut anymore.
No, they've done good. All right, we got 5.
They're never going to make another record. What's the point?
For sure. Like I said, now they were actually on one of the top lists of the all-time selling
they are.
albums forever and all.
Oh,
You know?
They
But-
are one of the best bands ever.
Well, hey, we're glad to have these guys in the band here in the studio here today. We're going to be bringing them back here this Christmas for a big show here in Jacksonville. Once again, we want to thank the Robert Paul Band for being here in Jacksonville, ex-Johnny Van Zant Band. And, of course, he's here in town to say hello to everybody in Jacksonville. And, of course, Michael's here, too. And make sure you catch them on tour. They're going to be around here real soon. When do you think you'll be in Florida? By Christmas? Or?
Oh, no, earlier, by May or June.
Oh,
Sure.
really? In the next month or two, they're going to be here in Jacksonville and around the state of Florida. So make sure you grab that there. And like I said, good luck to everybody that's getting a CD to here tonight. Also, while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and give away 5 CDs of my Ultimate Mix that I have. So if you don't get one of those there, make sure you message me on my Facebook, Leon John Jock, and I'll make sure you get a CD in the mail for that there.
Us too,
Okay?
Leon? Do we
That's right.
like message you? And
You message me and I got
Just
you
saying.
covered. That's right.
Competition stiff.
Yes, Lord. Now look here. We're going to come back here in just a few minutes with another band, and we're going to get into that there. But right now, I want you once again to understand that we are live in the studio with the Robert Paul Band. We're glad to have them here. We're working hard. They got a brand new tour, a brand new album. Let me get the album again. Let me show them to them one more time. Breaking Into, right here. The Robert Paul Band, beautiful right here. It's got a nice sound on here, and we're going to be jamming to them all night long. So we're glad to have them in the studio here. We want to make sure everybody comes back again to see us here on the Rock and Roll Television Show. More stuff's coming up after the break in just a few minutes, so stick around for that there. Any last things you'd like to tell the fans and the friends we have out here in Jacksonville before we go?
I would just say when we come to Jacksonville, y'all come and listen to us play. You'll have fun, and we're a fun band, and we have fun playing, and we look forward to seeing everybody.
Hey, Mike, you would like to say something to the folks here? You want to tell them hello in Jacksonville, and you're glad
Absolutely.
to be here?
Love Jacksonville, and I love being here tonight. Thanks for having us on. Thanks for inviting us out, and certainly when we come for our tour, come on out. We're going to have a big time.
And thank you, Leon,
Yeah,
for
thank you, Leon.
setting this up for us. We
Yes,
Well,
sir.
appreciate it.
this is our first show, but of course it's going to build and build and build, and we're going to have a lot of good stuff coming down the line. I've already got a lot of big bands booked already, but I first wanted to book on my very first show the Robert Paul of the Robert Paul Band. I saw him when I was a kid. He used to have long hair.
Well, there we go.
He had long hair.
Threw
back
me
then.
under the bus.
Yes, let me tell you. And so I'm so glad that he's here with us now.
I don't
And
have
I'm
any
so
long
glad.
hair anymore. That's
Like I
all
said,
right.
so we're glad, and make sure you go to his Facebook page, the Robert Paul Band. They got all the links on there for everything. And of course, pick up the disc when you see him. You can order it directly from the website. If you ask them on there, they'll be glad to send it to you in the mail. And if you're really nice, they'll even sign it for you. We're glad to have them here. So once again, the
I don't
Robert
think
Paul
so.
Band is here in Jacksonville, and we hope everybody comes and sees them real soon.
Yes.
How much time we got, Mike?
We need to go ahead and go.
Okay, well, we're fixing to get on out of here and get ready for the next show. Everybody say bye-bye to the Robert Paul Band. We're glad to have them here, and they'll be coming back again to Jacksonville real soon.
Man, I got big hands.
Introducing Helo, the world's first health and lifestyle oracle, a real-time health monitoring device unlike any other wearable device on the planet. Helo can monitor the most important measurements, including heart rate, blood pressure, breath rate, daily steps, calories burned, and Helo can even perform an EKG. Helo can also sense your mood if you're excited or even if you're fatigued. Paired with the latest smartphone application, you can now track the health and well-being of your loved ones. Imagine being able to monitor your aging parents even if you're thousands of miles away, or getting an alert if your spouse's blood pressure is too high. Helo not only monitors your important measurements, but it produces a daily, weekly, and monthly health report that you can provide to your trainer or physician. In the near future, Helo will be able to monitor blood sugar levels, alcohol levels in our blood, oxygen levels, temperature, and even keep disease-delivering mosquitoes away. But Helo is more than the world's most advanced health monitoring device. Helo can also alert you if your loved ones are in danger. Unfortunately, more and more women and children go missing each day, according to the FBI. With Helo, a child walking home from school can now press the panic button twice, and his or her Helo guardians can be sent an emergency alert via text, notifying their guardians that they need help. And what's amazing is that the guardians will get the exact GPS location of their loved one. Let's take a look at another scenario. What if you're taking a walk around your neighborhood and you sense danger lurking? Having that peace of mind to simply alert your loved ones can be a lifesaver. Now that you've seen the power of this revolutionary product, I'm positive you're ready to order one for you and your family members. However, Helo is not found in stores. Helo can only be purchased online, so click on the Buy It Now link or fill out our form to get more information about the Helo right now.
Okay, we're back on the live TV show here, Leon's Rock and Roll TV show. We're special guests tonight. We have Inner Demons in the studio. We're glad to be here. We're going to do a little interview with the bands and everything. Welcome to Leon's Laid Back Rock and Roll television show. We got special guests in the studio. Got Chuck Hilliard here, the lead singer, the lead guitarist for the band, and of course he's here tonight. He's going to tell us about what's going on with the band today. We're going to talk about everybody. This is the brand new guy on drums. His first name is Jeremy. We got Zach over here on bass guitar. Say hello, Zach.
How you doing?
All right. And of course Carl.
What's up, guys?
And of course Sean.
How's it going?
And of course Chuck.
Yes.
Okay, well, we're going to be playing some videos between what we're talking about tonight and doing interviews and all, so we're glad to have everybody here. This band here is on the top of the charts now all around the indie world and up there on the internet, radio stations around the world, and we're glad to have them here. They're one of the hottest bands in Jacksonville. Everybody's dying to see this band right here. I've been playing for a long time myself, and this is one band here that I'm very connected to in my mind. Very good songs, very good structure, everything here. We're going to talk about the brand new disc, the tour, everything that's happening with the band. So let's go and start off now. Chuck, how does it feel, man, to be right here in the home base of Jacksonville, Florida, right here in the hotbed of all the other great artists that are in the area?
Actually, it's great. Right now, with the way that our band is going, we're having a blast.
Well, I know y'all guys have been doing all kinds of stuff. You just got out of the studio, and you just got your brand new album out. The brand new album is called Feel the Cold, and it's been selling really great here. And, of course, one of your favorite tracks on that album is?
Never Coming Home.
Never Coming Home. Last night they actually did a little video for us of the Never Coming Home, and it was very nice, a slow epic, if you will, and really some powerful stuff up there. So we're going to check into that in just a few minutes here on here. I want to ask Sean, how does it feel to be in the band now with a great band called Inner Demons?
Well, first of all, I feel really blessed to even be in this band. Chuck and I have known each other since we were teenagers, long time, and he actually saw me playing with another band that I was in, playing around town with, and said, "Hey, we're looking for a second guitarist. Would you like to come and see what we're doing?" And next thing you know, I go try out. We sit down, learn the songs. Next thing I know, I'm on stage with them like 2 weeks later.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's been
And
nice.
leaving halfway through the set because you only knew half of it at that time.
Yeah. It was like, "Hey, we have 12 songs." I was like, "Okay, when's our first show?" And he goes, "A week and a half." And I was like, "Can I do 6?"
Well, we're glad to have Sean in the band. He puts a really strong rhythm in there for us, and it makes the band sound much fuller. We're glad to have him in there. Very tight band right here. Carl is the mastermind here behind the microphone. Got a vocal like Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden. I just really enjoy his voice up there. He can do all kinds of stuff. He can go anywhere he wants to with his voice, and he's one of the most requested vocalists here in the state of Florida. We're glad to have this band in the studio here. How does it feel to be the front man of one of the hottest bands in Florida?
Oh, I love it, man. These guys, they keep me on my toes.
Well,
There's stuff that I dig and I play, and they're a little different from the genres that I'm used to doing, but it brings out more in me than I guess what I would bring to the table alone.
Well, we're glad to have Carl in the band. I think with the guys that they have in the band now is the perfect gel. Everybody is on the same page, if you will, and the music is just wonderful. Like I said, I've seen thousands of bands in my career, but this band here is the band you want to go see. Now, let's step over here and talk to Zach. Now, Zach actually is the son of Chuck, and he's a great guy. He plays bass guitar. Say hello to everybody, Zach.
How you doing?
All right, we're glad to have Zach here. And Zach, how does it feel to play in such a great band like Inner Demons?
Oh, dude, I've been doing this band with my father for a long time. It's been, this year will actually be almost 12 years.
12 years, wow.
Me and my father have shared the stage over at least over 1,000 times. But adding Sean, Carl, and now Jeremy, it's meshing unbelievably well.
Yeah.
Well, this band here is going places. They got festivals lined up for this summer. A lot of special announcements coming down the line. Make sure you stay tuned in on the show to find out what's happening with the band. And we got the drummer here. His name is Jeremy. And of course, hey, wave a hello to everybody out there. And Jeremy, how does it feel to be in such a big top band right off the bat so easy?
Oh man, I told him about that. I was, the former drummer James, he did a lot of work those 10 years he was in the band, and trying to fill shoes like that, it was just weird stepping in. But, the first time I walked into practice, I'd only met Carl. I knew Sean from Crazy Dave's, and Zach laid a groove down on bass, and we just clicked. And so that first practice, I didn't really know much of the tunes besides Taste, which is a dope song, by the way. You should listen to it. And everything just gelled. It was really good. I really enjoyed it.
Well, I want to go back and ask each one of the members here what the influences are that they had when they were young and the influences that they have today. So, Chuck, let's start with you here. What were your influences whenever you were young? Who did you like when you were young?
When I was young, Skinner, 38 Special. Of course, I'm from Jacksonville. And I still listen to all those bands, but now that I'm older, Slayer, Anthrax, Metallica.
Oh, yeah.
Death Angel. All the old school thrash bands, it's what I listen to now.
I love it too. As of course you can see in the background, a lot of the old bands are in the background on our screen here. Pantera and all that there, Slayer, and of course great bands there. And Death Angel, great stuff up there. We're glad to have them bands still around here today. And I want to ask Sean, what was your influences when you were a kid, and what was your influences now? Who do you like now?
When I was a kid, I can actually remember riding around in an old station wagon in the very back and turning around and pretending that I was the keyboard player for like Journey. Mm-hmm. I know it's kind of hard to imagine, but Journey, Kiss, Austin, all those good old bands. And then I met a gentleman named Robert Waters, and he introduced me to Black Sabbath.
Oh, yes.
And I never turned back. I was like, ooh, I went down the rabbit hole and started searching for stuff, anything that I could find that was harder. And I found the LA Underground, and that's where I found Metallica and Megadeth and Death Angel, Exodus.
And Testament.
Yes. To me, Death Angel, Exodus, Testament, that could easily be part of the next big four.
It is. It's great stuff, man. And, hey, Carl, now, who did you like when you were a kid, and who do you like now?
Well, growing up, I didn't even hear metal until about 7th grade. The first metal I ever heard was Master of Puppets.
Oh, Master.
That totally brought me in, and Far Beyond Driven, Pantera. And I was pretty much hooked on to those two bands and Coal Chamber, stuff like that all the way through high school. And nowadays, it's pretty much the same, except I've added a little bit more heavier stuff, the Lamb of God, Behemoth, Slayer. Oh, wait a minute, they're all playing on the same show.
Got my tickets.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Tickets on sale right now if you got one. Yeah, great and all. So now your today's influences are Lamb of God still too?
Well, I'd say like Lamb of God, Born of Osiris. I still love Dio. Guys like Dio and Bruce Dickinson. I mean, that's
never fade.
I got to belt it out. Them boys belted it out, and it's my turn to do it. So.
Them are great guys there, man. And hey, Zach, now who did you like when you were young? You're a little bit younger than the rest of us, and so you probably liked the 80s rock and roll?
Well, growing up, man, of course, with him being my father, I grew up with 2 tons of Ozzy, Pantera, and all that stuff. Going to sleep at night, you'd always put on some Dream Theater. So I was always had a very eclectic taste. But as soon as he bought Kill 'Em All record from Metallica, and I heard Anastasia Pulling Teeth, that full bass solo, man.
Cliff Burton.
That literally, not even a couple years later, I had to have him grab me a bass, and then I got onto Victor Wooten, just Oteil Burbridge, all those guys, such tasteful, amazing players, and then only Cliff Burton was the one that just made it pop for me.
Cliff Burton was a great guy, man. I hated to see him go, but his what he done is going to last forever, and I think that what Zach does on bass is going to last forever in this band here.
Yeah. Let's hope so.
Hope so.
Now, of course, Jeremy plays drums, and now he's filling in some tough shoes here, and of course he's got the beat that keeps the band strong. So, Jeremy, what were your influences in music when you were young, and who do you like now?
Well, I'm still young.
Yeah, he's still young.
He's the baby.
He's the baby. He's the baby.
But to start off with, I mean, I'm probably the most different. Still, Blink-182 and Green Day's Dookie record really did a number for me. Trey Cool and Travis Barker both really helped me. But then I heard Slipknot's self-titled album. And Joey Jordison killed the drums. And today, I mean, it's still Slipknot, Korn, you mentioned Coal Chamber. Anything that's got a groove, it all just flows through no matter what it is. Alice in Chains, the Melvins, too.
And Japanese stuff for me.
Yeah, and Nirvana, a Japanese band called Nocturnal Bloodlust.
Yeah, me and him both listened to a lot of J-Rock, so.
Man, let me tell you, I want to ask you, you got the brand new disc out.
Yes.
And so how's that going? You're getting a lot of reviews on that. Everybody's hollering about it. And, of course, got a lot of the classic tracks on there, too. So everything is put together now, the new stuff and the stuff you had on the first EP, the first disc, the full disc.
Right.
Right. And let me tell you, Feel the Cold is the brand new disc out there from the band. You want to check that out. Very heavy gasoline riffs that break your ribs. I love this band. I got to practice to them about every other night in my warehouse myself. I love Inner Demons Band. Great stuff up here. I want to ask you up here, what is this year going to entitle to y'all? What are y'all going to be doing? Are you going down south to doing some festivals here shortly?
We have on April 29th, we're going to be at Hellgore 4, the Hellgore Fest 4.
Hellgore Fest number 4.
It's at the West End Trading Company in Sanford.
Sanford, Florida.
We're actually headlining that.
Oh.
So, other than that, we're honestly, now that Jeremy's in the band, writing is continuing, and we're already trying to do some pre-production for a new album.
Woo!
Hopefully by the end of the summer we'll have a new album out.
Well, the song that y'all did last night for us there, very, very good song. Very nice, epic draw to it, and it seemed like you took your time with it. You didn't rush the music and all, and everybody in the band played their part wonderfully on there. I mean, it was almost like it wasn't made for me. It was made for to put out normally. And what a great thing! You played acoustic.
Yes.
Now I want to ask you about your rig, if you don't mind. Tell the folks what type of guitar brand and the amps that you play.
I play all Jackson guitars, and I have a Diesel Herbert amp through PV Cabinets. It's all tube rig, and I'm running a 11 rack for an effects processor. So,
And you use a lot of them effects during the show?
actually, I don't. I use a little chorus, a little delay, and on a brand new song that we just wrote, I've added some flange to it, and that's pretty much it.
What kind of amps you said you're running?
A Diesel.
A Diesel, wow.
They're German-made amps.
Yes, German-made. There you go, strong strength and all. And Sean, what's your rig rundown?
I am actually running a full Made in USA rig. Yeah, I run a 150 watt Mesa triple rec.
Mesa triple rec?
Through two Mesa 4x12 cabs with vintage 30s in it.
And Carl, now you got the microphone, but what is your little rig? Are you using a vocal processor? Or are you doing all straight?
I've got a Shure wireless unit, and aside from the sound guy up front putting a little bit of echo on it or a little bit of delay, that's it.
He's got a voice that will change in the songs and just bring you and just draw you in. This is the reason why I enjoy this band, because it draws me in. It keeps my attention. And so if you put on the brand new disc, you're going to be drawn in too. You're going to say, this is some heavy metal we want to play every day on our radio and our stereos. Now, we got Zach here, and Zach, why don't you tell him what your rig rundown is that you play?
Well, as of right now, I'm playing a Gallion Kruger 1001 RB head, brand new out of the box. Just hooked it up not too long ago. I'm running it through one 412 or 410 115 Mesa Powerhouse 1000 cab, and it's also hooked up to another PV 810 cab, and I'm running just a full rack unit with everything in it, man. It's just far too much.
Practice space.
Yeah. Come in there, go hear it.
That's why Chuck and I have a 150 watt and 180 watt amp.
Yeah, I know. He plays the bass, and he plays the rumble that just makes the band sound so full. And whenever the band does all their runoffs, and at the very end he does the rumble on the end of it, you just can't buy that type. You have to have that in your head, and these guys are on time with each other. I love this band and everything that these guys play. And let's go over here and let's talk to Jeremy about what rig that he plays on drums.
Okay, I have a Crush acrylic kit, got a couple years back, and cymbals are just kind of mix match between Xavian and Zildjian, really whatever sounds good, and my snare, which is one of my favorites right now, is a Battlefield 14x7 custom pink acrylic.
Wow.
And it is a beautiful, beautiful snare. I crank that up and you ask them, it'll cut through anything.
Oh, yeah, that's an understatement.
That snare is actually famous. One of the guys came into the store that I work at during the day, and he was like, I saw your new drummer. Isn't that the guy that has the pink acrylic snare? And I started laughing. I was like, yes. Yes, it is.
The more you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what is your highlight so far of being in this band? What is your highlight show that you've done over the last few years? What is your favorite show you've done so far? Your most
personal show, it wasn't our largest show, but a personal show was opening for Death Angel.
Yeah.
I have become friends with Rob from Death Angel, the guitarist. I took some lessons from him, and to have Rob come in and watch us play and be waiting on me outside and tell us how badass we were and come up and give me a hug soaking wet. I was soaking wet with sweat. And for him to come up and do that, dude, it was great. It was very humbling. And someone I've looked up to as a musician forever, to come up and say that to me, it was great.
Well, that band has been around a long time, and they've earned their cred. And like I said, everybody likes to go see that band also. But now we got new faces on the scene, and you definitely want to go check out Inner Demons in concert. And of course, Feel the Cold, the brand new disc is released right now. Make sure you grab that also. And let me ask you, what is your highlight so far that you've been in this band?
Oh, it's kind of hard to narrow down there because there have been quite a few. Death Angel is definitely one of them. While we were playing with Death Angel, we had a local legend, Banner Thomas, come out just strictly to see us. And
big fan.
he walked over to me. Chuck and I have known him since we were like 12, 13 years old, and he's like, I had no idea. And I was like, thanks. you know, you got Banner Thomas of Molly Hatchet telling you that he loves your band, and you don't know what to say.
In fact, we just saw him at one of your shows here on 1904. 1904.
He has come out to Death Angel was the first one that he came out to. Then he came out to our CD release, and then he actually came down to St. Augustine to watch us play at a little small club down there. It was totally obnoxious watching us load into that place. Yeah. But I'd have to say probably even bigger than Death Angel was when we played Villain Fest last year. We had over 500 people just freaking packed in that place.
Was that the Mavericks?
Mavericks.
I was at that show. That was a great show. It was packed out, and like I said, everybody wanted to come see this band. Out of all the bands that was on the roster, this band here was the Gasoline and the Power, the Rib Breaker, and I was proud to be there, and I probably hooped and hollered all night while I was there for sure.
You did. We definitely had the biggest pit that night. Now, I always say,
which pit? There was one here and there was one here.
Hey, I always say, guys just want to come to a show, they want a loud amp in their face, and they want a pit.
Yep.
Oh. That's one pit. And of course, they had the balconies full, they had the back floor, everything was full. Everybody was there to see the bands, and of course, we're going to try to get the Villain Fest #2 this year. So we'll try to book that there for everybody there too. Hey, now let me ask you about the same thing that we asked him.
Well, my biggest highlight for the band isn't even so much as any of the shows we've played. It's the fact that these guys trusted me to record the entire album and be the producer and engineer for the whole thing. I mean, typically you don't want guys that are in the band to actually record and mix, but these guys trusted me to do it, and as like you've said and quite a few others have said, they're more than happy with what they hear. So,
well, you know, if a band has a chance to do their own controls, they know what they want. Versus the producer that's trying to get out of them what he wants or what he thinks that they want. So it's good to see Carl behind the control board, and he's got it down pat, and he's very, very good in the studios. And of course, other bands out there, they might want to give him a call if they want a little bit of studio time with Carl. And of course, hey, let me ask you, what was your highlight being in this band besides playing with your father?
The Death Angel show was definitely amazing. I got to catch up with Damien, the bass player. Great guy, very nice. I've met him quite a few times, but hands down, the very last show that was ever played at Freebird, whenever we closed it out, I've been on that stage since I was very, very
12,
young.
13?
12
that
years
was
old.
the 12
I just go buy a burger there.
Yeah, exactly. And I've played on that show at least a couple hundred times, and that one just killed it for me. Just to be able to close that out for the very last time, be one of the main bands to be the last night.
The last night, y'all are part of history of the closing of the famous Jacksonville Freebird Cafe down in Jacksonville Beach that just closed down this last year and all. This is the last band that played, and of course was able to close it out. Of course, how can you close out a club without bringing the best? And of course, enter Demon's Fist of Bill. We're glad to have them here. And of course, these guys here are working hard every single day in the studios up there to bring you brand new songs coming out this next year. We're hoping to get some video clips made, and they can do a video DVD compilation to maybe release a little bit later this next year. And so a lot of things are coming down the line here. I also wanted to ask Jeremy, so far since you've been in the band, what is your highlight here with the band?
Being asked to join. I think just in general, you know. I mean, I played their CD release last, I believe it was October?
October, yeah.
Yeah, with a group called Bloodbath and Beyond. I was filling in on drums. And I get a call, a couple months later. I happened to not be doing much in the band-wise, and Sean had hit up an old bass player of mine, Clayton, and he was like, "Hey, what's Jeremy doing?" And so I got in contact with Sean. They were like, "Hey, come out." And so I went, and I mean, it's been nice, man. The gigs are great. I don't have much, experience on the road with them right now, but I really enjoyed just being asked to join. It was very good.
Well, is the pressure on you whenever you do the show and all? Like everybody's watching you, and like you're the new guy, and can you keep up with the old thought and all that there? So
absolutely.
So you got it. You feel good about it. You're strong about it.
Oh yeah, man. Like these guys couldn't make it any easier. They're very comfortable, and they're always very willing to help work out.
Well, that's what I was saying about last night. The video that they did, and we were going to play it here in just a moment. They went in there and they played so easy, and they all meshed together real good, and it seemed like everybody was on the same wave on that. They weren't rushing everything, and I'm very proud of that last night. I mean, very, very good stuff. We're going to show that again. Remember, Feel the Cold is the brand new disc out from the band, and of course you definitely want to grab that again. I can say it 1,000 times, but you want to get this CD and your collection out of everything that's out there. You've got all the other bands. Get this band here. This is the one you're going to be playing all the time. We want to thank these guys here for coming in the studio here with us here at Layback Leon's Rock and Roll TV Show. And of course, you can always go to rockandrolltvshow.com and see the links and all for all the bands. And I've done interviews with the bands and stuff, and those stories are on the website also. So we are very excited to have the band here, and of course they're going to be on tour. They're going to be playing here in Jacksonville again, maybe in another month or two. Hopefully we can get them to get a gig here, and you definitely want to check the guys out. Now, what do you want to do now that you've got your band, and now that you've got everything the way you want it? What do you want to do now? You want to go hit the major road out there, or you want to just stick with Florida?
No, we want to go. We want to go play shows away from town. Honestly, we're contemplating either starting our own record label or shopping for a label. That's kind of up in the air right now. To get somebody to financially back us to put us on the road would be great.
I'm telling you now, there's a promoter out there. You definitely want to get this band here on your roster up there. You're going to get a lot of reviews, a lot of talk about it. This band, I'm surprised they haven't been picked up yet, but like I said, they control their own here, and so you need to get a hold of them guys there to be able to pick these guys up. Great band up here, and of course, they're going to be playing all around, and once again, the new CD is Feel the Cold. Grab it now. Great songs on there. And let's just talk about the songs for just a minute before we wrap up the show here with the band. What is your favorite song on the album?
Favorite song on the album is a very special song to us because it's very personal. It is Never Coming Home.
Never Coming Home. Now, I know that song because I've watched y'all play it before. That's a special song, and it was written by Carl.
Yes.
And Carl, why don't you tell them about what the song was actually about?
Well, it's never an easy song to sing, as it's about my brother. My brother served his country in the Army, and he lost his life in 2005. And I'd always wanted to give a tribute to him, yet I never could capture it the way I wanted to. And Zach literally came in one day with the bass line, Chuck threw a few little chords on it, and I knew it. I knew it the second I heard it. I'm like, this is the song for my brother.
Well, I've heard the song many times live, and it's really great, and I think that song is probably going to be with y'all's lineup of songs all through your career, because that's a powerful song, and it's off the beaten base of heavy metal, if you will, and it's really a heartfelt song, just like the one you did last night for us.
That was Never Coming Home. We just did it acoustically.
First time.
First time.
That was wonderful. I loved it. We're going to be playing that for y'all.
And like I said, that's a very heartfelt song. It means a lot to all of us.
Absolutely.
When we released it on the 10th anniversary of Carl's brother getting killed. It was hard on Carl, and it was hard on. Honestly, never meeting Carl's brother. To be playing that song and seeing Carl's reactions, it was hard.
Well, I can tell that y'all feel what he feels in a way, because y'all have the great feelings whenever you play that song.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's one of the highlights of the show. So like I said, it's wonderful up there. We appreciate it there. Folks, we want to thank everybody once again for tuning in to the show tonight. We got our special guest in the studio on our very first world premiere show, Layback Leon's Rock and Roll Television Show. We got Inner Demons in the studio. Make sure you grab a CD today. And once again, these guys will be all around the state. They'll be running around. We're going to make sure we hook them up. And once again, promoters out there, you want to give me a call. You want to give the band a call. Bands out there that need studio time, you want to give Carl a call up here. We want to thank these guys here for coming in the studio and spending some time with us here. And once again, we are Layback Leon's Rock and Roll TV Show. And now,
dressed in green, white, and tan. Who doesn't know it's his last stand? While the bombs still fly away, the loss is real and so is the pain. This pride I feel won't fade, 'cause we're there. down the past, and the war still lasts, and the hate and the fear still grows down the roads. But the thing I take away is I'm still free, 'cause with his blood is paid. Well, he's never coming home. 28 years and now he's gone. For the ones who cannot say, is with his blood I will pray, and his death won't be the last. For terror grows when you call it the past. It's time we stand as one. Let freedom reign. Hate be Now he's dressed in green, metal shines and clean, as we lay him to rest and think of the past. His life will never fade, as long as those bastards breathe. And he's never coming home. 28 years and now he's gone. For the ones who